Hello, and welcome to the Mission Kind podcast. My name is Dana Lucy, and I'm your host. Today, I feel so lucky to have interviewed Delilah Sichmeller. Delilah is an amazing person doing so much for the community. To begin with, she holds the title of Miss Merced County's Teen and has an amazing community service initiative. Her community service initiative, R&R for a Better Tomorrow, educates and empowers youth to be the next generation of changemakers about environmentalism in the world. With the money she has made through recycling, she is awarding 2 high school juniors or seniors scholarship money. She's a published children's book author and also has her own podcast called Chat for a Change, and it's truly so inspirational, and I highly recommend listening to it. All in all, Delilah dedicates so much time to the community in so many ways, and she is the true embodiment of what a kind person is. Please welcome Delilah to the Mission Kind podcast. Hi, Delilah. Welcome to the Mission Kind podcast.
Hi, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Can you please begin with introducing yourself to the audience?
Yes, my name is Delilah Rose Sichmeller. I am 18 years old. I am a junior at California State University Northridge studying cell and molecular biology on a pre-med track. And I am also Miss Merced County's Teen in the Miss America program.
Amazing. And as Miss Merced County's Teen, you have a community service initiative. So what is that and what makes it special to you?
My CSI is recycling and reusing for a better tomorrow, and it's extremely significant to me because I have nieces and nephews, and when I became an aunt at only 11 years old, I realized the impact that I could make in their lives and the future generations to come. And my mom actually went vegan in 2018, and when she did, she encouraged my entire family to watch all of those vegan documentaries. And in one of them, I learned that lowering your carbon footprint really does begin when you go vegan, because it is the number one way to reduce your carbon footprint. Mm-hmm. So I went vegan. And then the next day I started a recycling drive, which at this point has collected more than 100,000 bottles and raised $5,000. That was really big. And then I also used Instagram and my website to promote, those simple changes in your everyday lives. And I've also gone to lots of schools. I could talk about it for hours, but that's just a little bit of my CSI.
Truly, so inspiring. I've actually read your book before, and it's really, really nice.
Yay!
I love it. And I know you said how in the book you have pictures of your niece instead of drawings.
Yes, I chose to do that because I was going into a lot of classes and I was reading these books and they were all just like, drawings, illustrations, and the kids weren't really having fun with it. They weren't relating to it. But then I published my book with the actual pictures and the kids were like, did this really happen? Did this actually happen? So yeah. Because then I was able to say, well, no, it's not reality, but it could be a reality if we start recycling. So it was fun.
That is so true, and I'm sure kids will want to make a difference because of reading your book. I actually love your podcast so much. Everyone, after you listen to this podcast episode, check out her podcast called Chat for a Change. It's one of the things that inspired me to start my podcast, and you're just such an amazing role model.
Oh my gosh, thanks.
I want to know what inspired you to start your podcast.
I think for me, it was that everybody has a different story. I mean, you see in the Miss America program that everybody chooses their CSI based off of their own experiences. And I was finding just through Instagram that there were so many people out here with different experiences because they were from different countries or different regions. And they had certain volunteer things that they were doing specific to where they lived. And so I started interviewing people from around the globe. And that was the first season, which was amazing. I got to talk to people from Nigeria, from Iceland. It was amazing. And now this season is Women in STEM. And that's really close to my heart because I am a woman in STEM. And especially with my experience going into college and getting a lot of pushback for going to STEM, I realized that we needed more coverage and representation for it.
I love that so much, and I actually want to go into STEM and become a pharmaceutical engineer myself.
Slay. Okay, yes.
When I heard your podcast this season was all about women in STEM, it just inspired me so much. I feel like people say, oh, STEM is not a female field, or oh, it's just not meant for us women, but through you raising awareness, that could totally change people's perspective on that.
That's so true, is the whole, it's not like a female field. And something I discussed with Sana Kumar, who's Miss California volunteer, was that we both have experienced that conversation where it's like, oh, you want to become a doctor, but what about having a family? Mm-hmm. And we're not asking men that question. So it's like, that's so interesting. But yeah.
Yes, I feel like that is definitely so interesting how they're like, oh, it's okay for a man to be a doctor, but for a female, it's like, oh, how are you going to manage time with your family? So totally interesting. Next up, can you please share what role kindness plays in your CSI, and does it impact the way you communicate with people and make a difference?
I think it's really interesting because I think of kindness relating to my CSI on a very broad level, and it's kindness towards our planet. I know that can sound very cliche, but it is true that we can instill kindness when we are thinking about our actions and how they impact the environment. Because I understand that what might be convenient for me, so going to Starbucks and getting a plastic cup might be convenient, but bringing my own cup is going to be more kind to the planet. Making those simple changes creates a kindness movement for the planet. And along with that, I've been able to do that in schools, encouraging kids to be kind to the planet.
So well said. And just wondering, do you have any exciting upcoming projects related to your CSI?
Okay, so I just actually released an announcement about one of the really big ones that I had been working on, and that was 2 $500 scholarships available nationally. And these are available through bold.org. I was able to raise this money through collecting recycling in my community, and they will be going towards a junior or senior in high school pursuing life sciences with a relation to the environment and a volunteer experience with the environment. And that, as I said, is available nationally. I've already gone through some of the applications, and it's been so, because the question is something I actually ask students in classrooms, and it's, what is your favorite thing about the planet, and how can we keep that healthy and happy? And so it's so interesting looking at these responses so far and realizing how similar they are to the students when I ask them, these fourth or third graders, what's your favorite thing? And then I'm seeing these juniors in high school be like, oh yeah, I also love that the planet is so green. So it's really cool so far.
Yeah, that is so cool.
I also have the princess room that I'm working on right now. Okay. So growing up in pageants, I was not the first in my family to do pageants. So there's about 6 women before me that have worn a lot of dresses. Yeah. And a lot of thrifted dresses too, a lot of donated dresses. And we have this room in my house called the princess room. We literally call it that because it's just filled wall to wall with dresses.
Wow.
I started thinking about it. I don't fit in all the sizes. I've grown out of some of them. And, I no longer need those dresses, or my sisters don't need them anymore. So I'm planning to open it up and be a community closet for those that can't afford to buy firsthand. And it'll be based off of a borrowing system. And that should be opening up soon. It's just really hard to get it to look as pretty as it should be and look like a boutique. And there's more stuff coming that I can't announce, but just be on the lookout.
Ooh, that's exciting. It'll be a surprise. But until then, I love the idea of the princess closet so much, as well as the scholarships you're awarding. And dresses can definitely be pretty expensive.
Yeah, they really can be. And something that I've really found with buying secondhand is that it's also really nice to your wallet, because my interview dress that I wore at Miss Volunteer Teen America was $1.99. That was great.
No way, you actually got your interview dress for $1.99? Okay, that's crazy. So for my interview, this is so funny, but I totally did not take one of my mom's outfits. I took her blazer, her dress shirt, dress pants. I wore my shoes, credits to my shoes. But I thought I had to look very businessy and go for that businesswoman vibe. So I did not pay for an interview outfit, actually, but I do know how expensive they can be. Next question. In pageantry, you learn and embody grace and confidence, but where does kindness fit into that?
Something that I have been told since I first started competing was, you're not competing against the other girls, you're competing against yourself. You're competing against the best version of yourself, actually. And this was really important to me because when I first started competing in pageants, my sister and I were competing against each other because we were both teens. So it was really tough sometimes, because you're like, oh, I really want to win, but I also really want my sister to win. And so it was just keeping that right in my heart the whole time competing, being like, I'm not competing against her, I'm competing against myself. And so that's just really empowered me, because that way I'm not thinking about how can I be better than this girl, or who's the best here, and it really promotes kindness.
That is so true. And I love the sisterhood. And when they say sisterhood is strong, it really is strong. I don't have any siblings of my own, so everyone from the pageant community are my sisters, and you genuinely just want the other girls to win. I remember when they were going to call the title of Miss Teen Simi Valley, and I just wanted one of the other girls to win it so bad because I thought she was so deserving of it, and I just loved her so much. And never did it cross my mind that I was going to win it because I just saw the amazing woman that she was. Another question for you. How do you maintain the competitive sides of pageants while being kind to the other contestants?
I think that kind of goes into my answer for the last one as well, because honestly, I have never thought of pageants as being competitive. I've actually had a lot of people ask me, like, oh, is it very competitive? And I think it looks like that from the outside. But as you said, like, the sisterhood is so real. And honestly, the whole time you're just focused on, having the most fun. And honestly, I have done my best and placed my best when I go in just looking to have a good experience, not necessarily looking to win. I went into Miss California Teen Volunteer going, okay, this is my first time in the volunteer program and I don't have a prior experience with it. Let's just have fun. Let's meet some amazing women. And that's exactly what I did. And I also won the title. And so I think going in not with that competitive mindset is really great because then it opens up your mind to what else the organization has to offer.
I think that's totally the best mindset to have when going into pageants and thinking you're not going to win and just thinking about, okay, I get to have the experience and explore the organization and meet the girls. Anyhow, do you think kindness is promoted within the pageant community, especially within the Miss California organization and the Miss America opportunity?
Definitely. I think that we're seeing more and more and more, especially with Miss America partnering with organizations like the American Heart Association and Best Buddies, that kindness is constantly being promoted. And I think that also shows through people's CSIs because every girl that I have met, kindness really does go into their platform, whether it's environmental, mental health, or even just literacy. It all relates back to kindness because we are creating a better tomorrow for future generations.
So you just mentioned the Best Buddies program. For those of the people who don't know, can you please tell us more about the Best Buddies program and what it is?
Best Buddies is a partnership that Miss America has with, obviously, the nonprofit Best Buddies. And that organization is a partnership with people with special needs. And they specifically have Best Buddies walks. There's one down in Long Beach that I'll be going to and a couple out in California that I'll be going to as well. And it's just an opportunity to raise funds for those with special needs.
So cool, and I love the idea of that organization so much. Another question, can you still go to one of their events even if you're not involved with the Miss California organization or if you're not a title holder?
Yeah, definitely. I remember that I went to it when I was volunteer, and I believe I also went to it when I didn't have a title.
Good to know. Those of you who are interested in joining the Best Buddies program, please check it out for events near you. Beyond the pageant categories that you're being scored on, like evening gown, talent, and interview, how do you think kindness contributes to your success as a title holder?
I think that you really can't get anywhere and get the support you need unless you are kind in pageants. Because I think that what you'll really see is when girls are posting on social media, they have those comments from girls being like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal. This is amazing. You're doing so good. And that's what's really going to help you get to your goals is once you are showing kindness to other people, they start showing it back. It's like what you put out into the universe comes back at you. And so I think that kindness really ties in overall just throughout the competition, because that way, when you have the title, you get that kindness back.
Could have not been said better than that. So you're competing for the title of Miss California's Teen in Visalia this June, and I'm super excited for you. Good luck. If you are to win the title, and I hope you do, how do you plan to use your platform to spread kindness and make positive impacts in not just your community, but throughout California?
I think what is really unique about my CSI is that it is something that is universal because no matter your religion, your race, your gender, you are human and you are impacted by the environment. And so I think that one of the biggest things I'll be doing is going to schools all across California. I have a database just full of school contacts, that I am ready to on day one start reaching out to so that I can spread that message of, being kind to the planet. So I'll be going to schools, even middle schools and high schools, and hopefully even colleges, setting up booths to, talk with them. Because the other thing is that now that I'm a woman in STEM in college, I have more information on really what's going on in the climate.
Wow. I already love the fact so much that you're already prepared for for if you do win the title with the schools and contacts. That's really amazing. Good luck again. And I love that you want to keep educating the younger generations and as well as the older ones too, because a lot of people are not environmentally conscious, nor do they even know what a carbon footprint is.
You don't realize how much it really isn't talked about, because something that I found out was kids don't learn about their carbon footprint or recycling and reusing until third grade.
Yeah.
Even though habits are created when you're 6 years old.
Yeah.
And so why aren't we starting that conversation as early as kindergarten? Because it's simple things that we can instill in our everyday lives. And those little kids can take it back to their parents and their grandparents and really make change.
Yeah. I just really love your purpose and everything that it's about. It's so amazing. Outside of pageants, how do you practice kindness in your daily life and what does it mean to you?
I think it's kind of similar to how I'm, putting those everyday actions into the environment. It's kind of like also making those everyday actions to stay kind. I've seen you posting a lot on your story where it's like kindness day, where you post every day and it's like one little act. And I'm like, hey, wait, I did that today. And it's like those little things where it's like, I don't even realize that I'm doing it. And I think that you're doing a great job to promote that. And that's what we need. We need more people promoting that, because there are some people who don't realize that they can do that simple thing that's going to make somebody's day. Because I know I was having a horrible day the other day and somebody just seriously said, oh my gosh, I love the shape of your nose. My day was made. It was the silliest comment, but it made my day.
Yes, any small compliment, even about someone's nose, can definitely make your day. In a world that can sometimes seem unkind, how do you encourage people to keep being kind?
I think it goes back to the golden rule of treat others how you want to be treated, because even when it comes down to, I've worked a lot with mental health. And it really comes down to, if you want to feel your best, you have to put that out into the universe, is what I've at least experienced. And so I think it really comes back to that.
Speaking of mental health, I know you're the Youth Ambassador Coordinator for Childhood Matters. Can you please tell us a little more about that?
Yes. So I've been with Childhood Matters for, I believe it's close to 5 years now. Wow. And I started out as their first ever youth ambassador. I was looking for events and I was really interested in mental health, because I have struggled with my own mental health starting back in when I was, I think, 7 years old. I've actually experienced a lot through my life, and I didn't understand for the longest time what it was. And so in 2020, I started looking more into it and found Childhood Matters. And at that time, I was Miss Anaheim Hills teen, I believe. And so I reached out to Shalina Tureen, who is the founder of Childhood Matters, and she had an event going on. I got on a phone call with her and I was like, I want to come. I'm going to do whatever you want. And I went to the event in my crown and sash, and she contacted me after saying, hey, I want you to be the first youth ambassador. And from there, it just grown so much. And I'm so happy to have been a part of that growth. And now I run the Youth Ambassador program. I believe we have 25 ambassadors.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm in charge of organizing meetings and having people talk at those meetings, and also helping the ambassadors put on events or put on, social media activities as well. And it's been truly amazing, because it's helped me realize, what I need to work on with my own mental health as well.
Unfortunately, as many of us know, California was recently affected by the wildfires. But luckily, thanks to organizations like Childhood Matters, they made care kits for the victims, which is just so nice. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, that was a great experience. And they were full of all these things that I know that I would have wanted if I was going through an anxious moment or if I had lost something. So it was great to have an opportunity to make those for others.
Wow, so inspirational. Again, thank you for everything that you do for the community. Last but not least, if you can challenge our listeners to do one kind thing today, what would that be?
I think get out of your comfort zone and give somebody a compliment. I know that sometimes that can be a little bit scary, but really just give somebody a compliment. It can be so random, like I said, like complimenting somebody's nose, But seriously, get out of your comfort zone, because I so often walk around and think, oh my gosh, that girl has a great smile, or I love those guys' pants. And so I think that once you start saying it out loud, it can really make a difference.
And that's the ripple effect. So when you compliment somebody, they're going to compliment somebody else, and so on.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for being on the Mission Kind podcast, Delilah. I loved speaking to you.
Yes, I had a blast.